What is a review? Review? Yes, a review. I don't know. I don't understand movies. You can't distinguish the border between someone's movie and your review. I don't know where my review is. You only find good reviews in your dreams. So this isn't a movie? Just an empty review? Yes, it is a dream. So reviews don't exist here. You recreated your own world based on movies. Is that wrong? You escaped to imagination and distorted the truth. I can't have my own dream? It's not a dream, but a substitute for reality. Then, where's my dream? It's a continuation of reality. Where's my reality? At the end of your dream. The end of Evangelion, and my 200th review for this year. One of my favourite movies of all time, and something that has really stuck with me since I first saw it. It is definitely the most influential movie on my life that I have seen. I think the only reason that Tron Legacy sort of beats this out as my favourite movie of all time is because you can't really watch this without having also watched all of Neon Genesis Evangelion, as they're so heavily tied together. Whereas with Tron Legacy, even though it is still a sequel, it stands alone pretty solidly without needing to watch the original Tron. Anyway, the end of Evangelion is the 1997 film and conclusion to the original anime Neon Genesis Evangelion by Hideaki Anno. And both the series and the film have a very dear place in my heart. They kind of came at me at the time when I was the same age as the characters and has stuck with me ever since. I have been intensely hooked on Evangelion since that time, and I don't think my obsession with it is ever going to go away. The movie has a sort of strange place in Evangelion continuity because some people view it as an alternate ending to the original series ending, but I like to view it as a different telling of the same ending, whereas the TV ending is the internals of what's happening inside the minds of the characters at the end of the series, and the film itself is showing the literal real world of what is happening at the end of the show. And I really love that interpretation because it shows the depth that Anno was thinking about how the characters are interpreting these things. And obviously at that time when the series was finishing, they did not have the budget to do such a big production as they would have liked to. And so when the series ended and it was popular, they were able to get them funding and actually make this End of Evangelion movie and make it as big and as awesome as they always wanted to. The film is one of my favourite conclusions to any sort of series that I have seen ever. It takes the series itself very seriously and all the characters and all their motivations and developments, and doesn't really try and wrap everything up in a nice bow. Honestly, it kind of asks more questions than it answers, and Evangelion definitely poses a lot of questions to the audience to try and get you to try and figure it out. But this movie not only doesn't answer everything, but also is pretty bleak, and I love the ending just because of how intense and how little it holds back. I love the ending because it is so dreadful. But that's not to say that there isn't hope in the end. I think that the final lines of the film are very hopeful. It's kind of stating that anyone can come back, and that is sort of what I've held from that movie, is that I don't like hopeless endings. I definitely like hopeful endings, and I think Evangelion has a very hopeful ending. It's just that at the point where we leave the story, everything's kind of broken and ruined. It's just that we leave at the lowest point, and from there, you can have nothing but hope, really. The film itself is not only a masterclass in animation, but also in filmmaking in general. I think that what stands Anno apart from other animators is that he, especially in the mecha genre, is that he puts his camera in realistic places. All the camera movements that you see around these enormous Evangelion fights seem like there could be a guy on the ground filming this sort of thing, or a camera on the shoulder of the Ava unit. Stuff like that really makes the Evangelion units and the enemies they're fighting much more grounded, and I think that really leads to the realism and makes you feel like these enormous creatures could actually exist. And the editing as well in this film, I think, in times is more like an art film than a big budget anime. I think it's really shows how much of a filmmaker that Anno is just outside of being an anime filmmaker, especially the live action sequence, which I saw a little homage that I made at the start of this video for. I really love that, as well as the entire instrumentality project sequence. I think it's very artistic and very interesting and rife with interpretation that anyone can sort of pick out what they want and interpret it in any way they want. The movie has some of my favourite character sequences as well as character moments, and really has a fitting ending to every single character in this film. It's kind of amazing how well wrapped up this series is in just this one feature-length film. It's a testament to great writing and really great character arcs. I really love it for that reason as well. It is clear that the end of Evangelion, and Evangelion in general, has had a lasting impact on the anime industry, and in my opinion, it is one of the greatest anime, if not the greatest, of all time. The film and the TV show are always going to be with me. I don't think there will ever be a piece of art or media that will ever reach the same pinnacle in my life as Evangelion. It has kind of consumed me in a way. I've spent countless hundreds of hours on avageeks.org discussing the ins and outs and the possibilities of the show, as well as spent thousands of dollars on Evangelion merchandise and books and DVDs and manga and all sorts. But I don't think any of it was a waste. I cherish all of the things that I have, especially those memories on avageeks.org. It is a great place to learn about Evangelion, so if you're still confused, definitely go check that place out, because it definitely helped me a lot. And remember, as long as the sun, the moon, and the earth exist, everything will be alright.